Hey friends, let me tell you where I am right now. I'm sitting at my desk looking at a mountain of work ahead of me. And sometimes I do just feel like throwing in the damn towel. Because let's be honest, building any kind of business, be that a side hustle, your main business, changing direction, is difficult and time consuming. It just feels like you're crawling through cement. Please let me know in the comments if you feel the same. And I have to think back to when I was building my photography business, and I remember the pain that I went through when I started on that journey as well. But then I think back, because even though social media was kind of around, you really were in your own bubble. So you didn't expect anything different. You pressed on, and you and the other people that you met were kind of on the same journey, and you didn't see the is presumed to be the instant glory of other people's journeys. Here's what no one tells you about building something from nothing. Time becomes both your greatest asset, but also your biggest enemy. I think things that really annoy me is when you hear things like the 4-hour week. I understand the premise, but it really is environmentally, resource and cognitive ability orientated. For example, the 4-hour work week does not apply if you have 3 kids, a part-time job or a full-time job, different energy levels, different cognitive abilities and different skill sets, and also hardly any cash. Things like that really frustrate me because it can actually put a damper on the hard work that you're putting in, because something that's not necessarily true and can't be generalized to the whole population. I'm kind of living in the which hour of the day do I sacrifice to get shit done? And on top of that, let's just have a little moment about the money pit, because any side hustle costs money. And as much as I love buying new things, I do have shiny object syndrome. Subscriptions, software, websites, email services, there's all these things that are supposed to help you scale, but actually they can really hinder and be detrimental to your growth, because they are consistent payments that keep coming out of your bank account, even though you may not have got to where you need to be to pay them. For example, I have StanStore, ActiveCampaign, Showit, Format, Clicker, the Adobe platforms, ManyChat. And I really have to take a look at these quarterly and ask myself, am I using them efficiently? These things are supposed to help you grow your business, but actually you have to really consider, do I need them right now? Sometimes I do a tester for a month, see if I've used it, and then I'll cancel it. And as much as I understand the comparison theory, you still can't help but look at Instagram and feel like everyone you see is crushing it, where if you didn't have social media, you would be none the wiser, and you would be more likely to progress with your journey because you wouldn't see as much as you see now, which in a sense goes back to that saying that ignorance is bliss. So try and steer away from the mental framework that everyone's crushing it and they have a perfect content, perfect audience, perfect business. And I just think to myself that what we're actually seeing is the highlight reels of everyone's life. I mean, even I've done it. I've gone on jobs showing the traveling, which has been great, and the job, but then you don't necessarily see the exhaustion, the bruises, the late nights, the lack of sleep. One, it's hard to actually show that, and by the time you want to film it, you're exhausted anyway. It's this idea that you think everybody has figured it out already, so why bother? But then that just completely halts any kind of new innovation. And it can kill your creativity faster than anything else. I remember when I was first starting out as an assistant, I had to go into a studio where everyone kind of knew each other, and they definitely knew way more than me. And every single day I wanted to call in sick or pretend I'd broken my leg or my wrist, anything. But I also knew that I needed to learn and grow at the same time. So I had to put myself through that pain and challenge to keep moving forward. Years go by, I have my own photography business, I travel around the world, and it's amazing. And I still am learning, and there is still people that know way more than me, but now I'm more confident in what I do know, and I appreciate what other people bring to the team that I don't know, because I know that I continuously want to learn. I know that I'm going to look back in 5 years' time at these videos and remember the challenge that I had with time management, execution, content scripting, filming, delivering on these projects. But you have to start somewhere, right? And that's how progress works. You use whatever foothold you've got, even when the mountain looks impossible. But no matter what, I always have that creeping thought that it's all been done before. So what do you have to offer that's different from the rest? Because the truth is, there is enough space for all of us. Your voice matters. My voice matters, precisely because it is unique to you and I. And we've experienced reality completely different to everybody else. You could be in the same situation, but your perspective of that reality is completely different because of your environment, because of your own perspective, experience, cognitive abilities, and cognitive awareness, and emotional stabilities. The world doesn't need another carbon copy. It needs your unique perspective, your specific lens, your particular way of explaining things that resonate and click with somebody where nothing else has. That's what I keep telling myself. I like to use this analogy. When you pour water from one container to another, there's a moment where everything looks chaotic. The water splashes, it makes a mess. Nothing is elegant about it. That's exactly what transformation looks like: messy, uncomfortable, uncertain. But then it finds its rhythm. It settles. What looks like chaos becomes clarity. Progress right now looks and feels chaotic, but in time, it's going to smooth out. It's going to find its calm. It's going to find its systems, its directions, its clarity, and become smooth and running. In the end, it's just your water finding its way. I love the science, so let's just jump right in there, because there's actually science to help us understand why it feels so hard progressing. Your brain is physically rewiring neural pathways. That's one of the reasons why I started to learn to play the piano, purely because I wanted to be able to write my script and talk my scripts out better. But my cognitive abilities when it came to recall was shot. By playing the piano, that's going to improve those neural pathways. And I believe that it's helping. And you know what? It is uncomfortable, frustrating, and many a times I have wanted to break that piano. But I also know that it is rewiring, reconnecting, and redeveloping my neural pathways, which in the long run is going to benefit me tenfold. Same with starting this YouTube channel and learning all the things that I've had to learn to develop it. Because struggle isn't separate from growth. Struggle, as I know, is the growth. So if you ever feel frustrated in your slow progress and you want to throw in the towel, you want to shout, scream, please do. Just know that you're not stuck. Progress is slow, but that's what transformation looks like. You are not alone on that journey. In reality, creating, developing, and building something of substance takes time and is slow and is hard work. But it's also super gratifying when you've reached it. I mean, I love the things that I've created and the businesses that I have. I'm looking forward to developing my coaching business so I can really support and campaign for other people out there. There's one thing that I always fall back on when progress feels super slow, and I like to call it my historical scan. And I write down the major things that were happening in that year, because you forget the things that have happened. And the second tool that I've really learned to do well is ruthlessly and honestly time blocking. Not the productivity guru version, the real version where you honestly admit what you can actually get done in an hour. And I use Google Calendar for this because I love the colors and I time block the shit out of it. Let's be honest. I time block like there's no tomorrow because every single thing needs to go in there. I also keep a note of what I'm actually doing in the day. I made a video about clarity. You can see it here. And that discusses about how you feel like you're being busy feels productive, where actually you could be busy doing anything. Ask yourself this question, because this is the question that I ask myself. What's really worth your time? What drives real results rather than what just feels productive? What is your goal? What's realistic? What options are available? And what are you willing and able to do? Let's get to the heart of what's really happening. The underlying fear isn't really the slow progress. It's this. It's, I'll put all this hard work in and it still won't be good enough. That's vulnerability making you feel like your best might not be good enough. And it's such a hard pill to swallow. But here's the reframe and how I like to reframe it. My best might not be good enough for this, but it might be perfect for something completely different. What if every failure is actually redirecting you to where you're supposed to be? That yes, the ego takes a beating and it freaking hurts, it really does. But we can't be good at everything and we won't know what we're good at until we experiment. But sometimes we're so scared of experimenting and being curious because, let's be honest, we're failing out in the open now, not on my own, and that's freaking scary. But then again, there's also strength and resilience and perseverance in failing openly, forwardly, vulnerably. Anyway, there is strength in building that character. There's this really good poem that I found recently by Robert Frost, and it goes that 2 roads diverged in a wood. I took the one less travelled by, and that made all the difference. When in reality, we're taught to take the path of least resistance, but the one of least resistance is the one that's really freaking comfortable. So then where's the growth if there's no resistance? Because resistance is the one thing that helps you build the strength. It's what makes you capable of the things that you never thought was possible, and even helps you find out about the things that you didn't really know that you liked. So whenever I'm struggling with slow progress and feeling like I'm behind, which is generally daily, I think to myself, this isn't a weakness. This is my foundation to getting stronger. Because every day that you stay in that game and you overcome those obstacles, be that emotionally, mentally, physically, you know that you're building something that is worth keeping. Every effort you put into whatever it is that you want to achieve is worth it because you stuck to it. I read this amazing book, The Obstacle is the Way, and it completely reframed my idea of struggle. Everyone's hardship is their own, and everyone's perspective of hardship is also unique and personal to themselves and their environments and can't be generalized to the wider population. We have this belief that life is meant to be easy, when actually life is hard. And it's the moment of ease that we work for, not the other way around. And there's some really good quotes in this book that I have marked out. Let me find a good one. In a world where we increasingly work for ourselves, are responsible for ourselves, it makes sense to view ourselves like a startup of one. And that means changing the relationship with failure. It means iterating, failing and improving. Our capacity to try is inexplicably linked with our ability and tolerance to fail. So the day that you plant the seed on your goals, ambitions and dreams is not the day that you eat the fruit. If you find that you're frustrated or struggling or disheartened with the slow progress, I want you to ask yourself this question. If slow progress is actually perfect progress, what would I do differently? How would I treat myself? And how would I approach my work? Finally, get crystal clear on why you're doing the thing that you're doing in the first place. Be that building a business, having a hobby, starting something new. Understand your why. I do have a video, Why Clarity Beats Hustle. Check it out. Hopefully there's something on there that might also help you and support you and resonate with you on your journey. And I want you to dive deeper into the clarity, into the why, not just the surface reason for your why, the real reason. Is it curiosity? Is it growth? Is it financial? Because finding that core driver is what will really pull you forward, when your motivation starts lacking, which it does because our energy levels do become depleted and our cognitive abilities also become affected, because slow progress, however that looks, isn't failed progress. It's just progress finding its way. Growth is always there, but day to day, it feels and looks invisible. Breathe and keep moving forward. If you're part of my tribe and anything on here has resonated with you and you're feeling stuck, then please do drop a comment and let's get some clarity on that, because sometimes naming the block is actually what breaks it. To my friends, my freelancers, my creatives, my go-getters, that's it from me today. Keep creating, keep evolving, and most importantly, keep showing up for yourself. I'll see you on the next one. Your brain is physically rewiring. Your brain is physically rewiring. That sounds so weird. Your brain is physically rewiring